you, we're going to discuss why are men single. Whoa, whoa, ladies, I know. Don't go crazy. This is what y'all asked for. I'm bringing it to you. We're doing a two-parter. We're going to start with the ladies. As you see, I got some lovely ladies here. So we're going to let the ladies discuss why men are single. And here's a different twist. I'm not even about to say too much. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna speak, but I'm gonna let the ladies get their roll off. So, ladies, why are men single?
The question: why are men single? Let's start with Nikki. Nikki, what you think?
You sure you want to start?
Yeah, I'm gonna start. We're gonna start with you. We're gonna start with you, and we're gonna get it out the way.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Go
Chicago, 1 second.
Nikki from the Bronx, y'all. So, they're a little different than
Check
Chicago.
this out.
Go ahead.
I feel like men are single because they got testosterone issues.
Oh, okay.
Major testosterone issues.
Elaborate.
I feel like what men need to understand is us women, we're sensitive and we have a lot of needs. You see what I'm saying? And with us being sensitive and having needs, there's a certain way that you're supposed to take when you're addressing a female. You know what I'm saying? The first thing you're not going to want to do in your head is, let me dog her out. If you're one that just thinks off the top of your head, let me just dog her out after meeting her, there's something wrong with you. And by the look of statistics, there's a lot of things wrong with a lot of guys out here. So my thing is, some men, they don't know how to bite down. The same way they say we don't know how to be quiet, I feel like they don't know how to bite down as well. If you would just focus on being happy and do what you need to do as a man and not come to women as a grown-ass boy, excuse my French, it will be a lot of happy homes right now. You have a lot of women that are not willing to deal with the BS that men have to offer. My thing is, you can't cheat on me and be broke.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you gotta pick a struggle.
Okay, Valencia, come on, boo. What you think?
Well, as with any subject, I like to look at it from both ways. So there's some things that men are gonna be like, yay about, and there's gonna be some things they're gonna be like, bitch, really? So, but I think men are single because women have made it easy for them to remain that way.
Absolutely. I'm sorry.
We have accepted that every man is going to have somebody, so just go ahead and join the party as long as he's paying the bills and doing this. You got to deal with something, and that we've now made it a sport. You know, we got T-shirts. We proudly wearing side chick T-shirts. So why do they not need to be single?
Right.
So, and I would have to say it's just as hard, and because of that mentality, it's just as hard for a man to find quality as it is a woman to find quality.
I agree with that as well.
So you have men, but then you have the single men who are single because they think they're good material and they're not.
Yeah.
And then when you try to communicate that to them, then you got issues and problems and all that. They don't understand that they issues with their mama is affecting y'all relationship, you know, because, you know, they got mama up there on that pedestal, or they got the baby mama because she had his kids on the pedestal, or that's my girl from kindergarten on the pedestal. So you single because you want to still be with me, but you want to do all the things you still want to do as a single man. So go ahead and be single. So, you know, it depends on which man you talking about.
True story. Delicia. Hey.
I definitely agree with Valencia as far as it's been made very easy for men to be single and still get everything that they want. You live up under somebody, you can get sex whenever you want, they giving you their tax money, they doing everything that you would do in a relationship, but it's okay for y'all not to call it a relationship, or you do whatever you want on the outside as far as men and women. It's plenty of women that got sad dudes as many as there is men that have sad women.
Oh yeah.
And it's just okay now.
Yeah.
It's become taboo to be ashamed or to be shamed when you're doing something that should be considered wrong. It's become very oversensitized society, pretty much. Everything is, oh, you're shaming me for this, you slut shaming, you. It's ridiculous because there's
to be
just
wrong. Nobody
Right,
wons to be
right.
wrong.
Nobody wants to be
accept
wrong.
No,
being
everybody
totally
wants
wrong.
to turn it into a
and
campaign.
everybody can't be right. And that's why so many people, men included, are single because it's just okay to be single and do whatever you want.
I feel like a lot of men, they don't choose to be single. It's just something that they just do. Like,
No, I disagree.
Why is that?
I disagree. I feel like most men, not most men, some men are single because they choose to, they absolutely choose to be single. I also feel like some men are single because they don't necessarily have that conversation that you have with that person. How many times have you actually had that conversation, like, what are we doing? But when does that conversation happen? Does it happen automatically, or does it happen after sex? So now we're like,
what's understood really doesn't need to be explained.
that's
Oh,
not
no,
no,
that's
what
not
that's
true.
not true.
No,
That's not true.
let me explain.
Go ahead.
Let me explain. This is where I'm coming from. Sometimes you can't just plan things. You gotta just let things happen sometimes. I feel like when you get to trying to plan things, okay, we had sex a few different times, whatever the case might be, is what are we? Like that's
You don't have to put a number on the sex, but when you be honest with what you're feeling. So
Right.
like you start off in the beginning, yeah, we hanging out, we can sleep together a few times, it's good. I call you up, we go to the movie, we have a little dinner, okay. But at some point, somebody's feelings turn into something else.
No, and we
That's
don't have
when the
to have-
conversation
that
needs to be
happen.
had.
Right, and I can
That's
understand
when the
that.
conversation
Right,
needs to be had.
but see, this the thing. I can understand that, but on the flip side of things, I'm the type of woman where I'm just gonna let it happen. I want to see where it's gonna go. You see what I'm saying? Granted, I feel you on the whole. We need to have a conversation, but again, certain things, what's understood really doesn't need to explain. Now, check this out. I can see where it can be two-sided because at the same time, it's like, okay, my feelings are involved. I'm heavy with you, you know, but because we never have a conversation, you still fucking with Sally with the good hair. You see what I'm saying? So I understand where you're coming from in that aspect, but sometimes I feel like women can jinx a situation by asking questions maybe too early.
Oh no, boo.
But see,
Okay,
if the situation is jinxed because I'm asking too early, then that
That
means
ain't the
that I
one
don't.
for me.
That's not the
Let me-
one.
let me
It's
tell you.
not the one. I need to
Absolutely.
know up front because this is how we have so many. You know, no offense to anybody here that's a single parent. I don't have any kids, so you know I get backlash when I talk about baby mamas or whatever. But this is why we have so many single mothers, so many baby mamas, because y'all don't have these conversations in the beginning. Like, you need to have that conversation first date. What you want to do? Are we just dating just to date? Because guess what? I may be okay with that. I may be okay with just having you come over my house and have sex with me Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I may be good with that. But give me that option. Let's talk about it first. Don't just make that something that you want me to do and I ain't got no say so against it. No.
Now look at this though. On this side of things, you do that. You say, you know, let's have this conversation. I want to see where it's gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
They feed you some, oh, they ready. They feed you some, yeah, you the only one I want to be with.
Mm-hmm.
You have this conversation up front, but in the long run, you still get hurt.
But
So when you look at certain situations, you can see why men are single.
But
because
now
they
you can
play
hold-
games.
But now you can hold them accountable.
Absolutely.
Because see, if you don't have that conversation, you can't hold them accountable. Because where is it? It's like just go right now to the bank and say, "Where's your contract?"
I love it.
Where's
Absolutely.
contract?
And
Where-
they
where
don't
we
hold
discuss-
themselves
and that's
accountable
right.
because they're gonna say, well, we didn't talk
I
about
ain't
it.
never say that.
Absolutely.
We never
never said I
established
was
that.
your
That's no
man.
bad thing. But I'm gonna tell you like this: as far as being upfront, I have learned as I've grown. I'm 44.
Wait.
Yes, ma'am.
Wait.
Yes, ma'am.
You are not.
I'm 44.
You ain't nobody's
Yes,
44.
ma'am.
I'm 44. My children are 23 and 25.
Yes, ma'am.
Shut your mouth.
And my current fiance right now, when our first sit down conversation was, what you trying to do?
You feel me?
And he said, he the one, he said, if you're not trying to be a wife, don't have the time. And I said, and if you are not gonna be consistent with making me your wife, I don't have the time.
Absolutely.
And you know what? He was in the 1%.
And he,
Hey, wait. Tell me what.
we got flags in the front being thrown on the field. Flag on the play.
What's the 1%? I'm confused.
We got a flag on the play.
What's the 1%?
We gonna go through that a whole nother
No,
conversation.
because I need to figure out what's the 1%.
I mean, how many guys you know are willing and wanting to do that in this day and age?
I would say any man over the age of 37 to 40, they at that time, and I'm saying that because this is the statistic that I have for myself. Like, I've been through it. I've been through the ringer.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? And when I've actually known him longer than we've been together. We've been together 3 years. We've been married 9 months, I think, maybe 7 months or whatever. But he showed me something totally different.
Absolutely.
He showed me something completely different. I wasn't even trying to make this man my man.
He's in the
Absolutely.
2%.
And I don't, but I do know a lot of black men that are looking
And ready.
and are ready, but what they come across is like, Akila, can you hook me up with some of your friends? And I can't hook you up, boo, because most of my friends then found a man already. You feel what I'm saying?
Because they got that attitude.
Because
they got
the right attitude. I feel like once a man gets to a certain age, he knows exactly what he wants. So if he is single, it's because he's choosing to be, because he has not found who he's looking for.
Now, I will disagree with you
I
on a
definitely
certain
disagree.
age, because it's not about an age. It's about really their experiences and
Yeah,
their
I
lessons.
agree
Have
with
they
that, yeah.
learned? Do they want to do better?
Yeah.
What have they done to do better?
Yeah.
Are they just preaching that song that sounds good, or did they
Mhm.
really put the work in to get themselves better?
Mm-hmm.
And so how do we know? How do we know that they're better? Their conversation will be different.
Yeah.
When they talk about their past relationships, they're not gonna dog the woman. They're gonna tell you what they did wrong.
Absolutely.
And you're gonna be looking at them like, I can't even picture you like that.
Right.
Because you're gonna see somebody
Somebody
totally
totally
different than who they're telling you. But the fact that they were vulnerable with you to tell you
Yeah.
who they were
Absolutely.
and be consistent in who they're presenting to you, I think that is what we need to do. But we got so many layers of stuff that we can't sit down and have those organic conversations.
Right, and that's what I think that needs to happen asexual. If that's not a
Well,
word. Is
yeah.
asexual
You
a
can make
word?
that up,
We
girl.
gonna put that get that in
Bootylicious
Webster's.
is now in the dictionary.
Right, so we gonna get
Make that.
asexual in the dictionary. So
Yes.
like, I feel like people need to have those conversations asexual, so you can figure out the bullshit. Because although on one side we have those men that are ready for love, that are ready for marriage, that are ready for family, and ready to build that foundation and to take it to the next level, we do have some grown ass boys out here that's still on mama.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And the reason that they are single is because they are looking for somebody to take care of them like their mothers take care of them. Now, there's a difference between taking care of your man and then taking care of a boy like he's your son.
Absolutely.
You feel? And I don't have any kids. I have a little brother. He almost 30. My little sister, she's 27. The age gap is huge. I helped raise my little brother and sister. So, anyway, but I done lost my train of thought. I need not.
It's okay. Check this out.
I hate when that happens.
I'm gonna intervene.
Go
real
ahead,
quick if I
interrupt. I'm
can.
sorry, because I'm gonna bring it back.
So
I'm gonna bring it back.
this is my thing here with the whole age thing. Of course, when you're meeting a man of a certain age, you're expecting for him to have some type of common knowledge on how to treat a woman. But at the end of the day, you can't really expect that from a man that was never taught how
But
to
see,
treat
that's
a
the
woman.
thing. I think that's the misconception a lot of women get. We want him to be how we feel like he should be, or in our head what he should be. And if we've never seen a man before, we just gonna
No,
whatever.
that's not what I was saying.
That's not what you were saying.
Nah, pretty much what I'm stating is, if you encounter a man that's talking a good game per
Mhm.
se, you see what I'm saying? He has you bamboozled, you know, because there are men out there that's really good. I mean, I'm not hating. I ran across a few, you know. I mean, I had some stuff going on in my
Yeah, I
life.
think
You know what I'm
everybody's
saying?
had that one person or a couple of people
Right.
that made them feel like the stupidest
Right.
bitch on the face of the planet. So.
Right. So what I'm pretty much getting at with that is you expect a man to have a certain type of common knowledge when he's encountering a woman. You shouldn't want to cheat on this woman. You shouldn't want to hurt this woman. You shouldn't want to lie to this woman. You know what I'm saying? So we get the misconception that because they're 40, oh, they're mentally ready. They should be there. They know what they want. And in reality, these old men play as many games as the young ones.
Touche.
If you really want to think about it, you know. So of course, if I'm dating a 45-year-old, I'm expecting that, you know, you about to be a little old school. I'm only 34. You know what I'm saying? But I'm expecting that you're about to be a little old school. I mean, you know, your grandfather didn't make your grandmother pay rent, right? I'm not saying that you need to pay my bills and do all of that things for me, because I can do that. But what I'm requesting is loyalty and it's honesty. And there's a lot of guys that perpetrate out here. So in that aspect, I feel like that's why men are single. They play too many games. You know what I'm saying? You get good women out here that want to do the right thing. I don't be dating just to be your girlfriend. I'm dating in hopes to be in your wife. You understand what I'm saying? So with me dating in hopes to be in your wife, I'm not just dating just for you to play games with me.
Okay, I got some. So, what you just said, I'm not dating just to be your wife. I mean, I'm not dating just to be your girlfriend. I'm dating to be your wife. So I was watching a video. I don't know. Maybe it was TD Jakes or something. One of them preacher guys or whatever. But he said that a lot of times what's happened is men boyfriends are dating wives, women that are wife minded, and girlfriends are dating men that are husband minded. So it's like you may be ready for it. You may be showing this man that I want you to be my husband. I'm ready to be your wife. This is what we do. We're gonna build. We're gonna do this. And he like, well, you gonna be boo thing for until I'm ready.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
how- yeah.
And but those things can get scoped out early if we pay attention.
No, I'm not saying much. I wanna address some of the comments. We got Basel Muhammad. He said because he has time to look, that's one of the reasons why men are single.
Yeah.
I do agree with that. I'm not gonna go far into it. Also, Jones said, laughing my ass off at the duct tape. Love you too. Okay. Another comment that did come in that I wanted to bring up was Mona San. She said, I was told by a guy that it's easier for a man to find a woman faster than a woman finding a good man. So with that being said, most men are single is because they choose to be.
I said that.
That is a very powerful statement to me. Again, it's something I'm not going to go too far into. Ronell Turner said, well, you should say that up front, dating to be your wife. That's something that, again, that women don't do. Closed mouths don't get fed.
Absolutely.
Monasan said, hang in there, B, you're doing well. Sip a little water. This ain't water. We got, if I say your name, well, I'm sorry, Crawford. We have to take responsibility, though. We have to be honest with ourselves. What are we putting out there? What vibes are we sending? That goes into what I talk about attention whores.
Yes.
Again, I'm not about to go hard into it. Just trying to bring some comments out. Harold McConnelly said, you have to be a good girlfriend before you're a good wife. How are you crawling before you walk? Very good point.
What's his name?
All right, it don't matter. Hey, Harold, I'll tell you. Well, first of all, I agree with you actually that
I
you do
agree
need
with
to
that.
be a good
Girlfriend.
girlfriend before you are, but also you ought to be being an excellent boyfriend, showing me that you husband worthy. It's not always on the woman to prove she's worthy. Okay, so you definitely have some responsibility to show me that I need to follow your lead.
Absolutely.
So
That's sexy
when
as
you
hell.
lead me to Afghanistan while they bombing, or we finna go over here on this
And
private
make these
island?
money
What
moves,
kind
right.
of life you trying to
You know,
take
it's
me
funny.
through?
Right.
That's really interesting. And you know what? I like that saying, you have to crawl before you walk. Because eventually a young boy has to grow into a man. And you run across a good woman that you acted like a boy, instead of a grown man, and you miss out on that person, that might be one of the only people you will ever meet that's wife material, ever, because of your boyish behavior.
But-
So the same way you have to crawl before you walk, you have to eventually grow up from being a little boy to a man.
But guess what? That's when they need to take those experiences as lessons, just like us females have to take the experiences we have as lessons. They
No L's. They all lessons.
Well, they get too wounded. They when once a man gets wounded, his whole rest of his life is different.
Girl.
And every woman in that past,
because you know
after
what?
that,
I'ma speak on that. I'ma speak on
you
that.
know, women, we can get hurt. We be like, oh, and then we get the next boo. We'll be like, I'm in love again. We be
Or
loving
familiar
being in
boo.
love.
Or familiar boo.
But a guy, when his feelings get hurt, now his whole vision is skewed about women, and then he dates from this skewed perception. And of course, I don't mean 100% men, but your large group of men. If you go back, it's somewhere some woman hurt them, and now this is the lens that they see.
Okay, but when it comes down to men, and I'm getting this from the men around me. Most times, men aren't able to show their emotions the way we show emotion, or they're not. They don't have as many heartaches. Like women, we deal with a lot. We strong. We have to deal with a lot because we're women because they're a man. The reason we're able to handle as much as we can handle is because they can't or they don't. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I get it for men really, really, really fuck with a chick and hard heavy and he ready to take that step and she fuck it over his heart. I get it.
But most of
I
the time
get it.
they young though.
They
not even 23 yet.
But guess what?
And they hurt for the rest of their life. They crying. But she didn't even know you liked them like that. You brought her a sandwich. We didn't even know it was
Not
that
a sandwich.
serious.
Not a sandwich.
It was, you know what I mean?
Not
it was
a
like
sandwich.
we went to lunch
Because-
together and he hurt
because-
her, and I didn't
because-
even know it was that serious,
Because
dude.
even though they don't show as much emotion as us, they are more emotional than us.
But they still didn't tell me I was the star of your ass then. I
But
didn't
guess
know
what?
I
Guess
was
what?
like that.
You
We
probably
went,
didn't
we
care.
went to
Not even
Home
that.
Probably didn't
then.
care.
But you have to look at it from a different aspect too.
What's
Now
that?
check this out.
We
You
leaving
got-
D out of the conversation. I feel bad.
Well, check
Come
this
on,
out.
you gotta- come on, talk up.
I have a statement that I want you to piggyback off of. You know what I'm saying? That I'm getting ready to say. So you get these men that have really good girls, right? And you say to yourself, I want a girl that look like this. She gotta have this. She can't do this. She can't look like this. She can't dress like this. You got all these criterias of what you want your perfect girl to look like. But at the end of the day, what are you really bringing to the table besides a whole bunch of issues, a whole bunch of little boy, you know what I'm saying, dramatization. We're going to put that in the Urban Dictionary. But, you know what I'm saying, you're bringing a whole bunch of mess to the relationship. Meanwhile, you got this good girl, but you're still entertaining other women. Why is that?
That's where with the statement I just made, girlfriends are dating husbands, and husbands are dating
Absolutely.
girlfriends.
And that's why one of the reasons why men are single. What do you think?
Those are the type of things that men and women should pick up on. Honestly, I see women do that more than men do. They want a man who
Yep.
wears suits all the time. He's
Yep.
a businessman. He's
Yep.
making this much money a year.
Yep.
His shoes always nice.
You gotta
This,
drive
this,
this
and
kind of
that.
car,
He's tall.
dark
He's
skin,
athletic.
light skin,
you
blah,
know,
blah.
And then you buying pack hair and work at McDonald's and got 5 baby daddies, but he got to be all of this
Right.
and build you up.
And I see that
Men
a
and women
lot.
should be building each other, and that's the reason why relationships are such a rarity. Everybody's in a situationship and not a relationship anymore because we're not trying to build each other and be families anymore.
Yeah.
But do you think that social media has an impact on why a lot of households are broken?
No.
Because
No.
I
No.
personally feel yes, and the reason why I'm going to say yes is because it turned into a dating game. You can literally go online, look at, I want a light-skinned, thick chick with long red hair, you know what I'm saying, dimples, size 6. You can literally go online.
Hold
on one second. Hold-
Is loyal.
And I understand that, but how many guys are really out here that's loyal?
But there are some, and
there
see
are.
and that's what happens. So here it is. What we keep doing, we keep saying, "Ain't no man out here like this," and no man out here, ain't no man out here. And then they turn around and say, "Ain't no women out here, no women out here." y'all the only ones running around in a circle like that because
Absolutely.
Cause I found
Everybody
that.
else
Boom.
in the circle got their man.
Absolutely.
I-
You
I'm
know
just
what? Y'all not
saying,
even
babe.
funny because I ain't got no
No,
man, but y'all about to get out on me like that. Okay?
Yeah,
Damn
and
it.
so no, and see, and what it is sometimes, it goes 360 back to like, really, do we really even know who we are?
Yeah.
And so, it's like I said, I keep doing this, and only because I learned some things myself along the way.
Yeah.
I was married before, and I was in an abusive relationship,
Mm.
and so learned a lot. You know, came out stronger than ever. Next relationship, I grew. I can see a
Right.
progression. So I don't look back at relationships with any anger.
Right.
I moved on, and I learned things, and now I'm a cold motherfucker.
I know that's right. Okay.
And so when I was approached by my fiance now, I was a different person.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the fear, and this is why I want to get back to what you're saying. That fear of you're gonna run into another one is the reason why you're gonna run into another one.
Yeah.
So you have to just like say, okay, the last one, what's the last one?
Yeah.
What number is it? Who told you that by 36 you were gonna be married?
Right.
Or
Who said that
find
was
a
the
wife?
number?
Right. Who said was your number? It's like we have to get back to embracing the journey, but we can't because
I like
we don't know who we are.
I like
And
that.
there's simple stuff in our schools that if we could replace some of the bullcrap stuff, because I ain't used the dodecahedron since whenever grade we learned that. But had you replaced that with personality, where I would know what my personality was, and I know how I come off to other people,
Right.
and I know that D is this kind of personality,
Right.
and I need to, in order to get things done, I gotta tell to her differently than I can say it to you.
Right. Right.
Then
Right.
once I learned that, now we have eliminated bullying in school
Yeah.
because now we have a better understanding of you're not weird, you're just different.
Right.
And then now as a parent, I got 5 children. I know I'm trying to get the same thing. I can't parent all 5 children the same way because now I'm versed on personality. Then you go into the workplace and in business, and then you become
Out in the
successful at that.
street.
And so that's some things that we're missing, and we don't even know those things. We don't know our love languages. We don't know a lot about even who we are to even go out and act. So we're out here learning as we
blind.
go.
We going
and
out
we're
here
learning
blind.
as we go. Yes, we're learning as we go.
What?
Okay. Shit. I think I
You
took
got
off
the
my
comment?
goatee. Just snatched off my goatee. Okay, just a couple more comments and then I'm gonna be back out. Harold brought up, he said, he said, but to crawl before you walk, I brought that up. Ronell brought up, I think before women start showing wife behaviors, they should look for a hint of husband behaviors.
Yeah.
That's pretty much
I
saying
agree.
women need to start looking into niggas as much as niggas are looking into the women. I agree with that. Corey said, this is a great fucking show. Fuck Corey. All right. Ronell, he again said, and women wonder why y'all get played more often than not. Y'all showing white behavior because a nigga is cute. Fuck you good and got a good job. Pretty much a cute nigga, Ronell. He said, Jevica, fuck you. Again, Tina Robinson said, relationships are hard. People complicate them. 9 times out of 10, neither party knows their role. If we both don't know our ultimate goal in the relationship, we're wasting each other's time. People think love is a feeling when it's action. People are so busy chasing feelings like crackheads, they miss out on love.
I like that.
I like that. I like that. One more thing before I get ready to go. Soldier Rain said, I agree with the girl in the black. I assume that's you. Douglas September said, a lot of men are single because many women have no clue what they want and end up many times self-sabotaging a lot of their opportunities with great men. Many live in the fantasies of their mind and not in the reality of life. And I'm going to go one more because this shit is coming good. Sweet Cooch. Is that your name? Sweet Cooch? Sweet Cooch Brown. Sweet motherfucking cooch. Okay, the title and subject is funny as a whole. Men are single because they choose to be. A man can literally hail a woman like a cab and have a wife the next day. if he really wants to be in a status outside of single, it's really not hard these days.
And that's the simple answer to the question. That's literally the simple answer to the question. Men are single because they want to be the same way. Women are
Really?
single
Shout out.
because they want to be.
Oh,
I think it's some people.
okay, I'm only gonna do this. I'm only gonna do
That's
this.
what I'm
know what?
saying.
But
That's what I'm saying.
There is people that there is people out there that want to.
One last
that
comment.
don't want to be single.
One
They
last
are.
comment, because that gives me a discount on my show. Shout out to the camera work from Corey Taco Meat Murray. Fucking bastard.
Now y'all get back to that shit.
He said the discount.
So, what I wanted to say was, as far as the person that said something about we being white material, I feel like this. I'm coming as who I am.
My point. And
I
if
don't
it just
have
so
no time to be waiting to see if I'm an issue a little more out. I'm coming. This is who I am.
This
You
is-
get it. Either you get it or you miss
don't.
it.
Right. And
So
it's
you're
not. And
pretty
it,
much you're dating to be a wife.
Absolutely.
So who has time to play games? Which leads back to a lot of these guys are single because they got testosterone issues.
I don't understand. I'm not understanding the whole testosterone
Let me tell you
issue.
why. Let me tell you.
I'm not under because they macho.
No, it's not. No, not in a barbaric sense. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I'm thinking testosterone issues as far as they can't control themselves.
Oh,
You know
as
what I'm
far
saying?
as they be wanting to have sex with many different women.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, you know what?
Absolutely.
And there are some men out there that
Like
know
that.
for a fact that look, babe, I'm a hoe. I'm gonna have this.
They
I'm
don't
gonna
do
have-
that.
And that's the problem.
They don't do that.
They don't do
They
that.
come to you in wolf clothing, as a sheep.
Yeah.
But then
You know
that's
what I'm saying?
up to
Or
that
vice
woman that
versa.
she gotta be
She gotta do her due
proactive.
diligence.
She gotta do her due diligence. She
I
gotta
know.
be proactive about finding out. Hey, I work at a law firm. I know how to skip trace niggas.
But
Okay,
I
so
wanna,
can find it
hey,
out.
but every time what I don't want us to do, because we get to the point where we can easily like keep harping on like stuff that's just straight bogus.
Like
So
stuff
like
with the
like
name.
cheating
Mm.
and physical abuse. I'm talking. Let's get to after when that's not the issue. Let's get to some real issues that actually break up
That makes sense.
relationships.
Can I
You know what I'm
say
saying?
one?
So
Can I say one?
go hit me with one
These kids.
from previous kids.
Previous
Absolutely,
kids.
previous kids. That's one.
Hey.
Absolutely, because it's a dynamic. You come
It's a
together.
dynamic.
You want a man to step in
And it's not,
and be there financially and all of that, but then he can't
It's
be
not-
a disciplinary.
it's not most of the time, boy, it ain't even that. In my previous experiences, it wasn't even that. It's the I don't want her around my kid. Boo, I don't even like kids. That's why I don't have none. He don't have to. Your baby ain't gotta come to my house. You feel what I'm saying? If you don't want me around, that's fine. I don't have to be around. That is not my job. I have help raised too. I don't need to do another one. Not until I'm ready to have my own. Let that man. If he taking care of his kids, I'm going. Go ahead. That's what you need to
I have
do.
a question. So, do you think that men who had absent fathers in their lives could be a cause of a broken relationship?
Well,
Absolutely.
I've already said that I feel that men are at the root of the whole breakdown because we need men in the homes. We need men to show men how to be men. We need men to show women how they should be treated by
But see
a
that's
man.
but then that's the thing. That's what we have. We have men out here that want to be men and want to be those men, but they can't get past that woman.
Oh, but see, but
Cause
that,
it's hard,
right, but
and
let
I
me-
get it. But she be doing the motherfucking most, and I be looking from the sideline
but-
like, boo, is it that serious?
Akila, but let me tell you where that comes from.
Oh.
The man in her life was missing. Her father was missing.
Absolutely.
So here's the problem. So this is what I'm saying. So we got to get, when we go back, and we always, even we could take it back to, like I said, at family wise, or we can go back slave wise. The problem is, men were taken when
They
we
were
go
taken
back to
away
slavery,
from us,
right?
regardless
And so
of the fact,
we
yeah.
had a role to play when they were
That's
gone, right?
Yeah.
And so women we jacked up because of the role that we had to play,
Absolutely.
and men are jacked up because of what they had to go through,
Absolutely.
and the breaking them down as a man.
Absolutely.
So now we back together.
We,
And
at
so,
least we trying.
and so what? Yeah, we, you know, they can't come and snatch them out. You
That's
know,
true, yeah.
you know, like they
Right,
used
right,
to just separate you. They can with the laws and the this and the that and all the other stuff that they have implemented. But for the most part, we have this separation of broken people.
Yes, we do.
And so, yes, there are women out there that are playing games with the kids and they doing all that. But where does it come from?
Not
It
having
comes
that-
from not having
Having
that.
a
Right,
father.
you understand what I'm
And
saying?
I
That
get
father
it.
figure.
I completely and
so
totally get
I
it.
feel like it needs to be a conversation amongst men about let's get our shit together. That's where it's gonna take. And while the men are talking, and we need to come over here and we need to tell some of these ladies, okay, we had to be strong, girls. And we had to be independent, ladies. But it's time now to step on,
Level up.
just
Yeah,
come on.
I
Just come on.
agree.
Let's take it
I
back.
agree.
But fear is keeping that. And
Fear is keeping that, 'cause
you
mothers
from
don't-
doing
you
that
can't tell a mom
because
nothing.
you are not, when you still fearing that, then you don't love who you with because you don't fully trust and believe he got you.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
Okay.
And it's tape. Why
Okay,
you
I just,
take the damn tape?
I'm gonna let y'all keep going. All right. So, we hearing a lot of shit about the guys. I don't really hear as much as I would think about where women are fucking up to why men are single.
I mean,
We talk-
we
I mean,
ain't got that
I can
yet.
speak. Check this out. I'm a go back on the experience that
Okay.
I had.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Can I speak?
And then-
Nikki from the Bronx,
Then
baby.
go ahead.
Absolutely
Right.
not. You cannot speak.
I can't speak.
No.
Tape it up.
Oh, so you don't.
Tape it up.
You don't want me
You
to
got-
fuck it up.
tape it
I
up.
got you. Go ahead. I'm
So
gonna.
I'm a
Exclusive,
I'ma
exclusive,
bring-
exclusive.
I'm gonna bring front forward an experience that I had, and I want y'all to tell me where I should have stood with this situation.
Okay.
So I was dating somebody, and I was all in. You know what I'm saying? We had our ups and downs. We went through our trials, our tribulations. It is what it is. Every relationship goes through what they went through.
Right.
But at what point in time does certain things that were done in a relationship just were a complete violation? For instance, having unprotected sex with other females.
Did you know this?
I found out this.
And when you found out this, did you stay?
No, I didn't stay.
Okay.
But again, certain parts of relationships are just violatory. That's not a word. We're gonna put that in the Urban Dictionary too.
Volatile is
Yeah.
probably the word that you
No,
use.
It's valedictory. I like
No,
that. That's the word
I'm,
tonight.
no,
Voluntary?
I'm trying to make something the product of violate.
Okay.
Okay, so
Volatile.
at what point in time, at what becomes a violation in a relationship? Like, you don't think that having unprotected sex with other women while you're in a monogamous relationship, you don't think that
You all
that's...
had the conversation that you all were monogamous?
Yeah, absolutely. But at what point in time does that come, like, just ultimately just bogus?
It's bogus immediately when he
Yeah,
does it.
okay.
If you all have already set the standards of that, it's you and me and we're not going elsewhere.
Right.
But for some women, cheating is not their,
Cheating is
it's not their end game.
Right.
And this is, I made a post today because I just, was feeling all refreshed and renewed this morning. And I was like, at the end of the day, nobody's opinion about a relationship is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
However you feel a relationship is supposed to be,
That's how but however you
but
do
make
it,
sure you find somebody
that agrees with
that
you.
go with that. But
Mhm.
don't, everyone along the way isn't crazy because you haven't found you're crazy.
Absolutely.
Because just like we can sit here and say, oh, we got some women that messed up like this, we got some women, we women and men too. You know what I'm saying? And we got some issues too. I know I got some
I
issues
know
from
I
my
got
mom and
some.
daddy, right?
Absolutely.
And I know I have went to my sons and I was like, oh, I know y'all got some issues because I stayed a little too long. I let y'all see some things and I showed y'all the wrong things. And I've had those conversations. But everybody can't go back and deal with self.
And that's the issue. It's the
Mm-hmm.
the word called the word accountability. Nobody wants to say, you know what, this is where I fucked up at.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I feel like in some situations a lot of women, and this is just from my experience, a lot of women don't know how to take self accountability. Like, yeah, there has been relationships that I fucked up. I can admit that. There have been times where I let shit go over my head, and I had a whole nigga move into my house, and I didn't even realize it. Like, literally, this
have
motherfucker
questions.
moved my bed and brought his bed into my shit.
I
Like,
have-
I came home from work, like, wait, where's my bed? Oh, my bed bigger. Like, literally. So we all gotta take that accountability for the shit that we let slide.
Yeah.
the shit that we let happen, and you know the shit
I
that
agree.
take place. All right, y'all. Nikki, what's your last thoughts on why men are single?
I mean, at the end of the day, I just feel like there are a lot of men that play games out here, and there are a lot of guys that are serious about women out here. And I just feel like the boys need to stay with the girls, and the men need to stay with the women. And I just kind of feel like men are single. You know, I feel like some is by choice, but then I think others is just they're just doing it just to do it. You know, they're playing these types of games, and you know when they're stuck in a position where they're by themselves, it's just kind of like a catch-22 to me, you know? So I just kind of feel like men are single, you know, ultimately it just boils down to statistic-wise, because they want to be.
Well, I think men are single, like I said, because there's lack of accountability on both sides, men and women alike, and you have people that don't mind being accountable running into a lot of people that don't want to be held accountable. It's just a matter of, you know, what's your process of elimination, and do you really know who you are? Unfortunately, I think a lot of men are single because they really don't know who they are. And so they don't know how to lead. They are not prepared for the position. And so they're out here and they're masking, and it's okay to be masked because the women are broken as well. And so the mask looks okay. We don't even know it's a mask. It looks like love to us. We saw the arguing and this, and we keep being told that in order for your relationship to be good and you 30 years in, it's because you made it through the struggle and the this and the that. And the struggle has been preached the wrong kind of struggle. The struggle should just be you lost your job, we had to get through this financial hump, you got sick, but not all this other extra stuff. But we have built that in, we have wrapped it up, and we've sold that story to where, like someone commented and said, hey, women got this fairy tale. No, we keep being sold a horror story to where you're telling me to be treated right and protected and loved by my man is a fairy tale, and I think not.
I agree with that. Damn, that was deep.
I like this. She made me think behind that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
That's so good, though. I like that.
Go ahead, Dee.
I feel men are single because men and women are fighting for power, pretty much. Nobody wants to be wrong. Nobody wants to be told how things should be. Nobody wants to, like you said, take accountability. Everybody wants things the way they want them, and that's not how things work. It has to be a compromise. People have to work together and fit with each other. And there's too many men and women out here that are thinking more materialistically and physically about what they want in a relationship and not matching up with somebody's mentality. And that's the problem with relationships.
She just took me all the way to church.
Oh, Lord, yes, bless
She
her.
just took me to church.
Bless her. I don't even know if I need to say anything. Dee done said it all. Like,
Jesus.
shit.
Hallelujah.
I mean, pretty much, I think what it is people don't know what it is to be a part of a team that really, really works. Like, you have to be able to allow your weaknesses to show so that person can be strong for you, so they can match whatever it is that you need. And a lot of people don't know how to do that because guess what? They didn't have it at home. They didn't see it at home. And you can see that in people. I don't know if, you know, people can tell. I can tell if I have a conversation with somebody for a while, I can tell whether or not they have both their parents in the household. And it's like you know what I'm saying? You can see it because you can see where there was no balance. And we don't know balance. And man and woman is balance.
Absolutely.
And we need it. And that's it.
Ah, shit, that was the hardest
You ain't gonna have no
I got enough time. All right. Oh shit, my mouth. Snatch that tape off. Holy shit, this was a lot to absorb. It was a lot for me to not conversate about. I just want to say, man, ladies, good show. I am very happy, and I'm pleased with the thoughts that the women brought to this. I'm very good. I'm very happy with the fact that I didn't really interject. It was good to hear 4 women discuss y'all thoughts on this topic. I just want to do a couple shout outs real quick. We're about to move past it. You need a place for your podcast, Echo Rhythm. You see what we're doing here? By all means, holler at us. get your thoughts out, get your podcasts out, get whatever you need to get out. You have a home here. Also, if you need clothing done, you got Designs by D here and
Ashani Couture.
Ashani
over there.
Couture over here.
Yes.
Also, if you need haircuts, New Family Barbershop, 10715 South Michigan. Take the kids there, take your adult ass there, get your haircuts. I'm gonna just close it off because I'm not even gonna go into nothing that I heard. I made a lot of notes that I really wanted to go into, but the fellas is gonna bring this in next week. So, ladies, everybody that commented, again, hey, I appreciate you guys listening for this hour. I appreciate you guys making these comments. You know, I love that. Please, every show, make these comments. Feel free to inbox me with topics that you would like to hear us discuss. Everybody here, they may not be permanent, but they can always come back. I do love the fact that these ladies do not always agree with me. As what a lot of people think, I don't want nobody kissing my ass. I want you to come on this show with your thoughts and your opinions. I could give 2/3 of a shit about you agreeing with me as long as you can get your point across and say what the hell you feel. And that's what the real ish of the day is about. I want you to come on this show, say what the hell you got on your mind, and get that shit out. All I'm about to say from this point on is, ladies, thank you very much for making this show a pretty good show. Fuck pretty good show. Thank you for making this a great fucking show
You gotta bring
without
us
me
back. You gotta
being
bring
on the
all of
show.
us back. We
Hey,
gotta go
I
back.
believe me. While y'all was talking, I thought about topics to where I want you 4 big head motherfuckers back.
No,
So
big
we
head.
y'all got big heads. That's between you and God, not me. All right. So everybody that tuned in, thank you very much for tuning in. Corey, thank you for the good
Thank
camera
you,
work.
Corey.
That's all suck his dick. All right. Hey, catch y'all next week. Next week it will be the fellas' turns to explain
Coming up here.
why are men single.
Oh,
Let's
Lord.
see how that's about to go. Until then, everybody, have a good night. Get the fuck off my channel.
We're gonna do a part 2.
You gotta do while you doing why women are single.